Money in the Bank this Saturday. My predictions, do you care? Probably not. Going to tell you anyway. Thank you for watching this far. So, 4 matches, writ them down there. Going to see what I think. Don't know the order of them, so we'll just crack on. The first match on there is Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. A rematch from Backlash. Also a rematch from NXT some time ago. I think Lyra Valkyria has beat Becky Lynch twice. Once for the NXT title and one for the Intercontinental title. Technically she didn't beat her for the Intercontinental title, she just retained it. But we all know where I mean and what I mean. Now, there's a small stipulation in this. If Lyra wins, Becky can never challenge for the Women's Intercontinental Championship whilst Lyra is the champion. But if Becky Lynch wins, Lyra has to raise the hand of Becky Lynch, just like Becky did all those years ago back in NXT. Now, where do we stand with this? So, let's say, okay, right. If Lyra wins, that means Becky can't challenge. So we know we're not going to get like a triple threat match involving Bayley at Evolution, which some people are saying. But then if Becky wins, do we get that match? And do we really need it? Now, a lot of people probably think that Becky's going to win just because she can't challenge for the title again. But if Becky wins, that means Lyra's going to challenge her again. And then obviously that means they can keep going forever. Then does Bayley get involved? So what I think personally happens is Lyra actually wins the match because she out-wrestles Becky. Like, not a submission, like a full-on pinfall. But then Becky obviously gets annoyed, so there's no like roll-up or quick cover. She'll actually, it's the Nightwing, I think her finish is called. Then obviously pins Becky, so there's no excuses. Becky gets really annoyed, attacks Lyra after the match, okay, grabs Lyra's hand to put her hand up to basically raise it. Then we hear Bayley's music, which leads to Bayley versus Becky at Evolution. And then Lyra can go on and obviously do this different story. I think Becky winning, if Becky wins and Lyra still goes after the title, it's going to be like a never-ending situation. But I suppose that's what wrestling does sometimes. I know it's really been quite a short feud since WrestleMania, and it could go on for longer, but I don't see it. Nah. So I'm going to give this one to Lyra. I'm probably the only person who thinks that, or quite a few of us. But I like to be ambitious. Is that the word? No, probably not. But I like to be something. Yeah. Let's go on to the women's ladder match. I just tried to say the name of everyone in the match a minute ago. So let's try it again. I can't say it because I've got one of them in my room. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So obviously we've got Bliss. Obviously you know her first name. I can't say it because I've got one of those devices. Roxanne Perez. Julia. Stephanie Vaquer, the newest member of the Raw roster, who'll be working double duty because she's also working at Worlds Collide. Rhea Ripley and Naomi. I think I've said everyone. So Roxanne Perez, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Naomi, Rhea Ripley and Bliss. Now, okay, to me, if Roxanne Perez wins, does she give it to Liv Morgan to basically earn a trust to be in the Judgment Day? But would that be worth it? I don't see that happening, but it's definitely worth an option. I don't see Bliss winning it because it's just not really in the character and in the storyline at the moment. Rhea Ripley physically does not need it at all. She's just a walking Money in the Bank contract holder anyway. She could just go cover contract for a match. Yeah, sure. I don't know what that accent was because it wasn't Australian. Julia's a good shout. But then you've got, say, Naomi. I think she'd be a fantastic Money in the Bank holder. And I did originally have her. But I do think we're going to have Stephanie Vaquer as Miss Money in the Bank. Because why would you have her lose the NXT Women's Championship, right, then get called straight up to Raw, then win a qualifying match straight away, just to lose? I know they did a similar thing, obviously, to Roxanne and Julia. But they didn't have anything to lose. Like, Stephanie actually lost her NXT Women's title. And if she has it, would she go back to NXT to challenge for the title? I'd highly doubt that. So, if I was allowed to pick two, I'd either say Naomi from SmackDown or Stephanie Vaquer from Raw. But I'm going to go with Stephanie Vaquer to win. Then we've got the tag team match that nobody asked for. Even though Jey Uso might be out of it, considering he just got like speared and stomped and tsunami'd twice. So he's not in the best shape. So it's Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus Logan Paul and John Cena. Why? I don't understand. But anyway, it's just going to be one of those matches, ain't it? It's like great, you get to see Cena. A lot of people obviously want to see Cena versus Punk at Money in the Bank, but we get nothing, remember? That's probably why. But I can see one of the champions getting pinned. So either Logan pins Jay or Cody pins Cena. So I'm going to go for Cody pinning Cena just to prove that he can defeat him. Like, I could see something along the lines of he's going to go for a title, like, shot to the head. Title shot. And then obviously Cody gets the belt. He doesn't hesitate. Knocks in clean down. Right. And then there's that begin the start of Cody Lander. Maybe. Cody Lander started ages ago. I just thought I'd say start again. So yeah, there's not really much to talk about what can happen. I suppose Punk could attack Cena, so it leads us to a story from Money in the Bank. If you wanted me to have some kind of bold prediction, but I really don't see it happening. And maybe the Money in the Bank contract holder actually comes down, but that's only if, say, like someone like, say, Seth Rollins wins it, which I don't really, see happening on the night. Not that it won't win the match. What I mean is I don't see him coming down to actually do anything. He might just appear. So if I had to make a bold prediction, I'm going to say CM Punk is going to attack Cena and it'll set up a match for SummerSlam. Then we've got the men's Money in the Bank. I'm assuming that's probably the main event, but I don't know. You've got Solo Sikoa, Penta, El Grande Americano, Andrade, Seth Rollins, and LA Knight. Yeah. The person I would love to see win this match is LA Knight. Seth Rollins winning is like a great shout, because obviously the character he's got now, wanting to save the future of the WWE, is pretty much in his hands now. Would Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed still support him? If obviously he's got the contract, probably I don't see why they wouldn't, because obviously that's the situation that we're all in. Solo Sikoa, I really don't see winning the contract, and if he does, it'd be a failed cash-in. Penta, not interested. Andrade would be another interesting one. By the way, with Penta, I'm not saying that I'm not interested, I just don't think it's his time at the moment. Andrade would be interesting because nobody would expect it, and obviously, like, they've got a year basically to build it, so it's possible. Like, he could just be in the background. But weirdly enough, a serious answer obviously would be Seth Rollins to win. The answer I want to be is LA Knight, but I'm going to go for a stupid answer. I'm actually going to go for El Grande Americano, because that would be a great storyline. Having Chad Gable maybe trying to cash in, because he could be there obviously, and have the briefcase stored somewhere, pull it out, and they're like, no, you're not the briefcase holder, you can't win it. And he's like, oh, no, I am. Puts the mask on, and obviously then it's, oh, you shouldn't have been in here. It could lead to a really interesting storyline. So with Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble, originally I was going to go for Andrade, because I actually thought it was either going to be AJ or CM Punk, but obviously they didn't win the qualifying match. El Grande Americano did. I can genuinely see El Grande Americano actually winning. Also as well, if he is Chad Gable, it's obviously complete BS, but Chad Gable is going against Valkingo, I can't pronounce his name properly, for the AAA world title. So if he loses that, would that annoy him and obviously become El Grande Americano? And does that contract go all around the promotions that are part of WWE? So could you go for the TNA world title, NXT, World Heavyweight, WWE, AAA, whatever else there is? I can see El Grande Americano winning, because obviously you're going to have Bronson and Bron Breakker getting involved to help Seth. But then obviously you get Jey Uso helping. But he's already in a match though. You get Sammy helping. Do you get CM Punk helping? If CM Punk's already come out earlier in the match. It's a weird situation. But to get people getting involved, I do see Bronson and Bron Breakker getting involved. So if they do, I can see other people getting involved. So my actual prediction is El Grande Americano. Okay, the answer I want it to be is LA Knight, and my serious answer, I'll say serious because I've already predicted El Grande. I'm going to go for Seth Rollins. Well, those are my predictions. I mean, do we get like a curb stomp from the ladder? Do we get a Simone Spike from the ladder? Oh, the difference that would be. A BFT off the ladder? Do we get a tsunami? Do we get like a spear through a person into a ladder. Did we get Paul Heyman saying "ladies and gentlemen"? Probably. Like the potential of these things that could be. So you've got Penta. I'm interested in watching. I'm interested in watching all of them, but Penta, Andrade, and El Grande Americano, like they're the three that I'm like probably majorly interested in watching. And I believe that Seth Rollins is the only former Money in the Bank holder. Anyway, those are my predictions, like I've just said a minute ago. Let me know your predictions. Who do you think's going to win? Like, will Becky become the new Women's Intercontinental Champion, the first ever second time? Because she's not a two-time, because she hasn't won it. Just the first ever second champion. I know what I'm trying to say. Okay, does Cody pin Cena like I thought, or does Logan pin Jay? Does Logan pin Cody? Does Cena pin Jay? Like, different options. Who do you think's going to win the Money in the Bank? Like, do you think I'm right? Do you agree with me saying that Stephanie's going to win because the situation? Julia's a very similar situation. I think should be a great shout. You can see why I don't think Rhea basically needs to win it, or Bliss. And who do you think's going to win the contract? My least... So if I had to order who I think's going to win the contract, okay, I'd go for El Grande Americano to win, then Seth Rollins, then LA Knight, then Andrade, then Solo Sikoa, then Penta. So obviously we'll see how wrong I actually am. Now for the women, looking at that, I'd probably say it's either going to be, I'd say Stephanie Vaquer, Naomi, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Bliss. Rhea Ripley and Bliss. I don't like saying that, but obviously I can't say because somebody likes to talk to me. Anyway, let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.